Hey, everybody, it's Jacob Newton here, professional hockey player and mental health coach, advocate, all of the above. My good buddies over at SportsEpreneur and I did a podcast together about a year ago, and ever since then, we've been keeping in touch, creating content, podcasts now. So if anybody out there is interested in doing the same, having their own podcast or want some type of content creation, don't hesitate to reach out to those guys at SportsEpreneur. They are willing and able to help you out. And after listening, don't hesitate in leaving a review, and then you'll get much more access to all of my content across the SportsEpreneur platform. On today's episode, what I wanted to talk about is our relationship with reality. When reality takes place in front of our eyes, how is it that we interact with that moment? I think what's happening, unfortunately, is that people think that we have control over external situations, experiences, people, really anything outside of ourselves. But what happens is that people believe they have control, so they'll stay away from this person or go towards this person, trying to change the outside only to match with what's going on the inside. So what happens, right, is a person will say something to us, that we don't like. But what's going on is it's creating this inner experience, or there's a situation outside of ourselves that happens that we aren't comfortable with. And so again, it's just creating some energy to move within us. But instead of us as individuals working on the inner stuff, healing from our traumas and from our past, we believe that the only way to feel great, to feel good and comfortable, is again by changing these outside sources. So instead of interacting with life and whatever it comes, whether it's people or situations, again, we're going to stop ourselves from getting into situations or going to these events or interacting with these people because they make us feel bad or negative or something like that. But if you're always in a constant state of doing that, what you're doing is you're not fully living life. You're only living life up until your edges, your comfort, right? And as soon as anything or anybody, kind of triggers you or presses those buttons, you instantly want to get away. So again, you're not fully living. There's so much beauty out there that people don't give themselves an opportunity to interact with, to experience, because again, these things happen and it creates that inner feeling in us. And we think that we have to change the outside. But the truth is if you can become aware of this stuff, you can understand that it's the inside experience that's going on that you're not comfortable with. It has nothing to do with these outside sources, because just as one person can come and say something to you that's, maybe negative, another person can come and say something to you that's positive, and they're both going to create an inner experience, whether it be high energy or low energy. But again, like I was speaking on the last podcast, in terms of relationships, what's the common denominator? Me and you, literally the person watching this or listening to this, could experience the same exact thing in life. We could be standing side by side. A person could come by and say something, or an experience could happen in front of us, and both of us could have two different perspectives on it. You might experience it from a low energy standpoint, view it as negative, and I could experience it from a high energy and positive experience. So again, what's really going on there? What's really the problem? It isn't the outside source, it's the inside experience that you or I are experiencing. So again, if we can become aware of this stuff, then we can start to really self-analyze ourselves and start questioning, well, why is it that I don't want this person to say this? Or why is it that I can't handle this experience? What if I just started working on my inner stuff? Then I could fully live life and fully experience everything, and not be bothered anymore by what people say or do. Or again, if you see something on TV of something that happened across the world or in your own hometown, and you get so disturbed by it, again, there's a lot of learning experiences to go around out there. But again, so many people are closed off and shut off and operating from a place of fear opposed to a place of love. And then once again, they're not fully living this beautiful life that we all have the opportunity to live every single day. So again, people are going to try and change their outside to match what they feel on the inside. But what if we're able to cultivate a beautiful inner experience no matter what takes place on the outside. Then we get to experience everything through a clear lens, a lens of love without fear. Because when fear is present, we're not clear in the mind. When fear is present, we are seeing everything through the lens of fear. So therefore, we don't view that tree or that car or that person as beautiful anymore. We see it as a negative experience. And so we want to change it. But I'm here to tell you that you have literally zero control over anything external. Your ego, your subconscious mind wants you to think that you have control, but it's only reality because your ego, your subconscious mind is making you think that, and it's only matching what's going on the inside. So if you're at a place in your life where you never go through any type of healing, you're going to be missing out on so much of your life because you're going to constantly be thinking that I have to change this, I have to change that, instead of just embracing what's in front of you every single day. So again, in terms of mental health, if you aren't going down that path of healing, if you aren't trying to figure out your likes and dislikes and all this different types of stuff, you're not, going to be spending the majority of your life from a place of love. And when you think back to, being born, from that moment, we are all operating out of a place of love. Kids, they laugh and they're enthused by the most silly things that we as adults, will label as silly. But to kids, again, they're seeing everything with no disturbance in their mind. They're seeing everything as beautiful, everything as love, and everything is exciting. I think back to a few summers ago, I was with my kids. We were just kind of playing outside, and my son and daughter were running down this hill. And I was just amazed at the smiles that they had on their face as they were running down these hills. And I was just thinking, man, like, they're simply just running down this hill, and they are so incredibly happy with that. And it's something that's so simple, but I then also thought, man, would I see any adults running down this hill with the same type of enthusiasm that these two beautiful children are? And I think in most cases, the answer is going to be no, because, through our childhoods and our teenage years and our adult lives, we've become hardened. We've become, so sensitive to outside sources that we can't see the natural beauty in life, because again, we're seeing it constantly from a disturbed lens. But kids, up until they experience some type of traumatic event or catastrophic event, they're viewing everything from love. So they love everything. They love everybody, but they also have a natural ability to understand energy and the type of energy that people bring. And that's why, again, that some kids will gravitate towards certain people and they will stay away from other people. So anyhow, so the message of this podcast is to understand that externally you have zero control over anything. And anytime you start to attempt to try and control things, you need to understand that is your ego trying to do that. Your ego is not your highest self. Your ego is not a place where you want to be operating daily, because if you're constantly doing that, you're never going to grow. You're going to constantly stay small. You're going to constantly stay in your past. Whether you understand it or are aware of it or not, your past is very much present in the now and into the future, unless you start going down that path of healing. So anyhow, that's going to be it for episode number 4 on RAV with JLN. Just a short one today. I just wanted to get this out there. I think this is something that's so powerful. And if you're listening to this with an open heart and an open mind, potentially this could be the key to unlock your door or your path to healing and going down this path instead of waiting for a catastrophic event to happen in your life. Anyhow, thank you all for listening and tuning in. I love you all. Have a grateful day.